Who actually raised Gen Z? It's millennials.
Even coexisting with parents in the same house has become so difficult.
Bashing women who choose to be homemakers. Feminists are bashing them.
Person is running away from something in the pretext of self-love. The only people who can trigger you the most are the people close to you. Pain is your biggest teacher, but pain is very painful. Hey guys, welcome to Heal with Zainab, and as you can see, I'm not Zainab. My name is Lavina, and today it's going to be a very different podcast where I'm going to ask questions to Zainab, and all the questions and all the discussions that she has on her podcast, usually she'll be answering those questions for us. But before that, do subscribe to Heal with Zainab and don't forget to press the bell icon. All right, Zainab, welcome to your own podcast.
Thank you so much. It feels very, very different.
This was my question. You already answered.
Yeah.
First of all, how do you feel sitting on the other
Sitting
side?
here, it feels very different. Like, this is my place. But I think not bad. I just came to know this angle is also not that bad. I always used to sit on that side.
Self-realization then,
Self-realization is too much.
Yeah, it's never-ending, right?
You know that,
It keeps
yeah.
going. All right. So my first question that I wanted to ask you is about self-love. So there are two questions which are interrelated. One is, what do you think is actually self-love? And connected to it is self-love very misinterpreted these days?
Extremely, I would say. And because you see, the whole origination of self-love comes from over-sacrificing of women. We gave too much, that to a point we started feeling like, okay, where are we in all of this? And we started prioritizing ourselves, which is great, because without that, you cannot pour into other people's cups. So that is great. But now I feel this word has been twisted, misused, misunderstood, and people have been taking it to a different level, and that they have reached to the level of self-centeredness and selfishness. So there's a very thin line between self-love and selfish. So self-love is just that you're prioritizing your health, whatever is good for you, mental health, physical health. You should know what you need at what times. Maybe I need space. I'm not in the right mental space to talk to you. I tell you that, and I take that space because it's good for me to went off, like to release or to be with myself. But self-love is what I feel right now is that you don't realize what are your priorities, and it is turning into narcissism. And that I see very, very often. Like the kind of cases, maybe because you also have a public dealing job.
So that's the misinterpretation that
you
part
must
of
have
it says.
noticed too that narcissism is huge. Everyone is about me, I. Oh, because in the name of self-love, people are totally detracted. So we need to really realize that, is it really self-love what we are doing it? Or because in the name of self-love, what are you doing? You are disconnecting with your own family members. You are disconnecting with friendships. I cannot tolerate them because I disagree with this person. This person is toxic. You label them. You disconnect in the name of self-love. So many of these things are happening which needs to be talked about.
But also, do you believe that social media these days has a big role to play in it? So there was a time where, like, we are millennials, right? So
Yeah.
at that point in time, we did not have access to social media. To an extreme today, we have so much of access to social media. And somewhere down the line, we keep blaming these Gen Zs that they're all about themselves, they only think about themselves. However, is it not become that, correct me if I'm wrong, that somehow we blame Gen Zs for everything? Say, for example, they think about themselves, they're watching reels all the time, their attention span is too short. And eventually, what I've realized is that we millennials, or even our parents' generations, we're doing the same. We are technically following them. We say they use social media, but every person from the age of 20 to 60 are watching reels at night and going to bed. So we bash them, but we are also doing what they are doing. So if they are thinking about that, where is that line where you draw for
I
self-love?
feel Gen Z hate is too real right now. And I really wish I'm looking for one Gen Z person to be on this podcast to have that argument. Yes, there is something, I will not say wrong, but there is something, it's very different for us to accept about Gen Z. But you're absolutely right that who actually raised Gen Z? It's millennials. Who were Gen Z's parents? It was millennials, right? So when we are pointing out and criticizing them, because millennials were the generation of people pleasers. We love to please people. We pleased our parents, we pleased our family, we pleased our friends.
Absolutely.
And now we didn't realize we are on the line of pleasing our children. And that children pleasing became so huge that we were like, oh, everything they do is correct. Or we've started fearing them. So maybe that's why you're absolutely right that blaming Gen Z is not enough. Gen Z is a product of what millennials have, how millennials have raised them. So it's very easy to criticize, but if you just see, because we millennials have seen both the worlds, right? We have seen the time without
With internet
digital
and without internet.
technology,
Yeah.
and we have seen after that. So maybe we know, okay, how to do that balance. Okay, if someone enters the room, we put the phone down. We know that. Maybe Gen Z don't know that because they open their eyes. This is what they see. But at the same time, I feel if we were also born in this generation and time, we have done the same thing. I mean, I know so many old people, like, I don't know, Gen X and maybe baby boomers.
We've even lost count of these generations
All
now.
these
Like, who are they
generation.
called?
But the ones who are in 70s, 60s, even they have phones in their hands.
Absolutely.
And all they do is watching
Absolutely.
reels. So on what grounds we are actually blaming
To be honest,
them?
if you have internet and if you have the facility, why not use it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now it depends on, social media can be great, AI can be great, and it depends on for what use do you use it. It's very difficult to create a balance, I do understand, but I think that's a struggle with everybody. Like, I know my family, my relatives, they're all about sending us reels and forwarding us those good morning messages in
Yeah,
the morning. They're
yeah,
all the same.
yeah.
Another thing that I noticed about, now I'm connecting self-love with Gen Zs because we label them as extreme. We call them selfish.
Yeah.
But when we think about ourselves, we call it self-love. Now, do you think it's a generational gap that creates that? Or it's just that we're all confused? We don't know where to draw the line. What do you think is the
I feel
problem?
the confusion is huge.
Okay.
It's very, very confusing. You're right. Maybe it's because of social media. When we were in our, I don't know, 20s or teenagers, we did not know the names and labels. What is self-love or what is narcissism? What is this?
There was not a word, but we
There
just
was no
knew the
word.
feeling.
We
yeah.
just knew the feeling. Okay, this is something off. This is good. This is something. But we didn't know the labels. Gen Z grew up with labels. Everyone knows this all big.
Everything has a tag.
Everyone
now.
has a tag. Everyone knows these big psychological terms. Oh, this person is bipolar. This is this. This is dyslexic. This is. So they are definitely, Gen Z is way more self-aware than us. That is good for them. Because we became self-aware after learning, making mistakes, experiences. We're like, okay, After 30, 35, we came to know, okay, this is the self-aware. Like we
But
became
one thing
later.
that stayed common is between all these generations, I feel, is what our parents say. Oh, when you become that age, you will understand what's going to
And we
happen.
do understand.
And that's what we are saying. We are telling the Gen Zs. Oh, when you get to our age, you will understand what it is. So I think this thing never changes, right?
This would never ever change because there are few things which you will only learn from an experience. But yes, I agree. Like I said, millennials, again, I should not stereotype when I say millennials. I don't mean the entire millennials on planet.
always has
They were
to be
very
exceptions.
well balanced one
Yeah.
as well. So I'm not stereotyping when I'm generalizing. I mean, okay, most of us.
Yeah, we have
you
to
know.
generalize. Yeah, we have to talk
Just
about at least
generalizing.
some
Yeah.
people as a general topic.
Yeah.
But I do understand there are exceptions in every generation. Even Gen Zs, for that matter, I've met Gen Zs extremely
very well-mannered.
intelligent, very well mannered,
Yes.
very self-aware,
Yes.
creating businesses at the age of 20. I could not even think of a business at the age of
So
20.
we are not
So it depends
stereotyping, but we are when we talk about, when we label Gen Z or millennials, it's about largely
For
not
the
all
sake
of
of
them.
discussion, we
For the
would
sake
say.
of discussions,
Okay.
we are using this word, so it's easy to understand what we're talking about. So yes, millennials, I think we were way more confused than Gen Z. I feel Gen Z is also confused, it's like everyone is. But why I'm saying us, because we like I said, we were people pleasers for sure. Then later on we understand, oh, what has happened to us? We have given too much. We have self-sacrificed too much. We will stand up for ourselves. And then whatever we did was a reaction, like how we raised Gen Z. We are like, this is not what we will let our children do that. And we allowed them to be completely free. What happened, like how in
So
every
this
generation,
is what happens, what your mother or your father couldn't do, they live their lives through their children.
Exactly.
So exactly, so if we were not given that freedom, or not even freedom, like, I mean, speaking of me, like my parents gave me all the freedom, so it
Yeah.
would be wrong that none of us got the freedom. However, I would say whatever we did not get at that point in time, like we were stuck in between maybe pleasing our parents and our responsibilities.
very
So we thought we'll give them everything.
Simple example, we were always told what to do.
Yeah.
It's not about freedom. We were told what to do. Oh, elder person, come up, just stand up.
Because this is
Or
correct.
this is courtesy. This is so we were very well trained is the word. And sometimes for some people it became so suffocating. They were like, you know what? For my child, if he doesn't feel like standing up, it's okay.
I would not force them.
I would not force my child in anything. That was a reaction to, whatever we have faced. But I feel it backfired. It backfired in the most ridiculous way, because when there is no balance, you always have to suffer. The same thing happened that, oh, okay, I sacrificed so much and my child would not suffer. What you feel like doing, do what you feel like doing. And there we somehow lose that thing of what self-love is, right? So I feel that we need to draw that line, that are we actually following the footsteps of, are we becoming a narcissist? Because this is what I see. I want that. I feel that. This is important for me. Me.
Do you think
and
we've
don't
forgotten to
realize that.
coexist anymore?
Yes, we have.
Right? Because when we grew up, we had a lot of siblings. So even if you were, I have friends who are single children, but because parents at that point in time, of course, over generations, people who had joint families, then they became nuclear families, and of course, it keeps changing with time. And we don't know how to coexist to an extent that initially growing up, people taught us how to coexist with our siblings or cousins or whoever they are. Today, I think even coexisting with parents in the same house has become so difficult.
That's so true.
Like, we have to literally make a rule in the house that phones down, dinner time. And the whole okay, it's going to be half an hour and let me see what's going on in the internet. Whereas before, phones down, no internet, end of story. You go back, you read a book and you go to sleep or whatever
And
you
not
do.
only relatives or joint family, even in neighbors. If I remember, if someone is like not a very nice person, but he screams at me, like we were being told that no, you should still respect the person, even if this person is not good or good. We have seen so many different behaviors, so many disagreements with people, with parents, with relatives, that okay, it's fine, that this is how this person is. But I feel that now, yes, it comes with very, very less patience, even with your own parents and with your own siblings. You can't coexist anymore. And this is the biggest alarming thing I feel what we all are going to go through in very near future. In fact, just now, because of this disconnection, I feel the loneliness and this again, loneliness is also.
This was coming to my next question.
Yeah.
So as far as like just to end this topic about Gen Zs, I think loneliness is extremely, extremely widespread. It's not like we say, oh, Gen Zs are lonely or they're into all these different kind of relationships. There are so many of them. I don't even, like I literally have to read through them, so I'm not going to take the names. However, I think loneliness is very widespread. If all the time, like our discussion until now was about millennials and Gen Zs, now let's come to loneliness and self-love. So all the misinterpretations which are related to self-love is the topic for today. So loneliness is not related to only Gen Zs. There are old people who feel lonely. There are millennials who feel lonely, and all the other people, the generations before. Now, how is self-love and loneliness, like how do they go together? How would self-love reduce your loneliness, to put it correctly?
Self-love cannot reduce your loneliness. Loneliness is something very different. First of all, again, this word is also being very twisted. You should know the difference between solitude, space, and loneliness.
Absolutely.
The biggest, I think, dilemma of this era where we are living, there's a bombardment of words, and we just twisted them all, and we're like,
According to
I need
acronym.
my space. But maybe you're lonely. Again, coming from where it's coming from. a 16 years old, 12 years old saying, I need my space and I need solitude, maybe this person is really lonely because that's not how you are designed. We are not designed to be alone. A. You need your space, you call it solitude, but actually you need your alone time with your Instagram in your hands, to be honest. Maybe that's why you
Because
need
what are
your
you doing in
space.
your solitude time?
What are you doing? Loneliness is that uh, I remember you said this to me, and I really, really like what you said. You mentioned that, just I have my phone with me, and I know that, I'm feeling very depressed. But I know I can call this one, two, three people, but I don't want to call. I have an option. And I love this analogy, like what you said to me that day. But I don't want to call. Means you have an option. At least you know there is someone.
Yeah, and the different days are different. Like some days I would call up the core, the 4 people or 5 people that I'm
Yeah.
close to. Some days when I'm sad, I'll just call them and then I'll say whatever I'm feeling and they're there for you. So having your core people, A, is very important. But B, what I was saying was that sometimes you don't feel like discussing it because you know that it's just a phase. You yourself have realized that it's not as important. I just need to sink in the feeling, just
Yeah.
go through it and I'll be okay. But the fact that I have those people and I know that I can dial them is also so I mean, most of my problems just go with the fact that I feel, oh, I can just call and speak to anybody. But then there are people who have so many numbers on their phone. They are sad about something. We all have our days and our phases,
Yeah.
but they don't know who to call.
This is what
And
loneliness is.
that is loneliness
Yes.
because
Yes.
I'm sad is not loneliness. Is because can you reach out to people genuinely?
That is
Right?
true. Yeah.
And,
Unfortunately, I don't think not many people have that privilege. I mean, I know people who have big circle of friends.
Absolutely.
But can you, in your lowest time, you can pick up the phone and say, let me call
and
this
you know,
person.
and you
That's
know
what
who can
lonely-
be with you and who can't be with
Yes,
you.
you already
exactly
know.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
You know if the other person is nodding her head or his head. You know if the person is listening to you or no. Loneliness, and let's just touch on this part of freedom. Self-love, loneliness, and freedom. A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't speak to anybody. I'm so free. I don't need I don't need anybody. I'm okay with that solitude part." But
you mean to say I'm enough. I don't
I'm
need
enough,
anyone.
I'm
Yeah,
free,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
need anyone. And then the funny thing is that at the same time, okay, actually, I was going through somebody's story the other day. So let me just put it that way and then the question be very clear. So I have this friend of mine who says that I don't really need anybody. I'm enough for myself. Everything's all right. I can do. I'm independent. I'm not dependent financially. I've detached myself. I'm not emotionally dependent. But at the same time, when you speak to her from time to time, when she has a sad face, she would be like, "Oh, I wish I had somebody to pamper me. Oh, I wish, oh, she has this and I don't have this." And depending on the face, she's a lovely person. She's independent. She has everything. But my thing is that the fluctuation in the mind is so random. So where is the problem? Like having those feelings to have someone is the issue, or being too independent is the issue, to be trying to be detached with things is because everything is right in its own way. So how do we combine it together and how do we know how to mix it?
This is what I'm saying. Issue is the confusion of mind, bombardment of information, knowing too many things and not knowing what we want because we are so disconnected with ourselves, so much disconnected. You really need to first know yourself. Like you said, like suppose you have been living for so long all by yourself. I would really call you hyper independent person, right? In every way. But at least you have reached to a point that I feel that you do have clarity that, you know what, yes, I have lived independently, but yeah, I need someone in life, right? That clarity is very important. Who you are fooling to. Are we monks? We are not monks. Those people, yes, do exist who says that, oh, we are enough of ourselves, but they are very different people. And yes, we can reach there. Is your goal to reach there where the spiritual monk is? Only then you can be enough just for yourself. And I totally believe in the philosophy of being enough of ourselves, because even despite you have a relationship, you have many people, I do feel that deep inside it's your own battle, it's your own journey. Yes, we are alone. We are alone for sure.
We come
And
alone, we go alone.
we come alone, we go alone. People will be with you, but they are just a part of the journey. They will reveal themselves. They are just there to support you for your soul growth. Eventually, sooner or later, breakup will happen, divorce will happen, someone will die. In the end, you are alone. So I do believe that you should be fulfilled within yourself, but we are social beings. We do need people for our survival in this world. Unless we choose a very different path, like I said, we become monks or what. But this is another problem I have, that I see so many women. I'm enough for myself. I don't need a man. Okay, but just like you mentioned, I have seen you crying, alone when you are sitting in your home, that yes, you need a husband, or you need someone to take care of you, not even a husband or whatever, right? Or you need a best friend. You need
So you
someone.
think clarity is the most important
Clarity
thing?
is, yeah, because we want best of both the worlds. This is what I'm saying. We want to be hyper independent, which is great. Again, it's a need of the time, right? Woman has to be independent. We cannot rely on anyone. That's one thing, but at the same time, we also want someone to take care of, and we are not ready to leave any one of those. So opportunity would come when you have to let go and really surrender
Yeah.
and trust that, okay, God is going to take care of me. Someone will come, but it's very, very confused. That's why we keep saying, circulating that, oh, I'm enough. I don't need a man.
But that's a very
But you are
beautiful.
also giving a wrong impression to universe. And the basic rule of manifestation is you have to be clear in what you want. So how are you going to manifest? What message you are giving to universe by keep saying, I don't need a man. I'm enough myself. But deep inside, your vibration, your feelings are saying something else. So you are confusing the universe. How are you going to manifest
That's
that?
so beautiful what you said. The issue is so simple.
Yeah.
And actually, a lot of things in life are simple. So, like you said, the solution is clarity and prioritization. These
Yeah.
are the two things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like you spoke about me, so I was very clear since the beginning that I would want a partner, right? So, as much as I'm independent, I'm very clear I want a partner. And but then, of course, everybody has their. I wouldn't say it's a checklist, but at least the basics that you want in a partner. And when you're right, let's say an aligned partner who understands your priorities and you understand the other person. No one's
Yeah.
perfect, you're not
Yeah.
perfect, the other person is not perfect. And then when you find your aligned partner where you have at least the same life goals, I would say, more than their characteristics, is when you align together and you move on. So you're saying that clarity is important. Now, coming to clarity, like I told you, my friend's example, that because she was going two directions where she's like, I'm very happy, independent, and I'm enough. And then sometimes she would say, I want someone. Now, what would you say to women who say that they are genuinely okay? They don't want to get married. They're genuinely okay with it. Like they have clarity. One is clarity, not knowing what you want, which I just spoke about. And one is clarity, I exactly know what I want. There are people, I don't want to get married, and I'm fine with it. And they're happy. What would you tell them?
To be honest, so far in my life, haven't met any women who is extremely, uh, like what you said, who are hyper independent, who's doing very well in their career, finances are flowing, and they are alone, single, and they're happy. I doubt. They're comfortable. Sometimes we misinterpret comfort, luxury as happiness. Oh my God, she has everything. She has a house of her own. She runs this like whatever this fancy car, and she is so wow. That's why she doesn't need anyone. She looks happy because she has all the money to be comfortable. But I doubt, because I mean I haven't met. Like maybe she looks happy, but if you are saying that there are people who are genuinely, then yes, it might be possible.
To
Might
each
be
its own.
possible
To
because
each its
again their
own.
priority might be very clear from the very beginning, or they might be living alone for too long that then you get so used to it, you don't want to share with anyone, and that becomes your happiness. You make it your happiness, because I feel that we are not designed, not only women but also men, we are not designed to be alone. Like unless I said in the beginning, our purpose is bigger than anyone, like really big spiritual purpose to serve, right? If we are on that path, that's definitely, you're alone, you're happy because you are living with a purpose. If you are doing a normal corporate job, having a very good salary, even if you're a prime minister or president of a country and you're a woman, that's the senior most post. You have power, you have fame, you do what you want to do. I don't know
You
any female
haven't
prime minister who is really happy with who she is. I doubt.
you
Yeah.
haven't met anybody like that, and you also think that things can change. Life is not always the same.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point in time, a woman feels I don't need anybody, or I really need someone. And with time, after a few years, 5 years, 10 years down the line, vice versa. Oh, I really need someone, or I don't really need
And
someone.
here,
Things change,
I don't
right?
think we are actually saying here that, oh,
It's a personal
if you
choice.
have someone, then you will be happy person because we are designed. No, 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 no. You can be married and the most unhappy person on earth.
Thank you so much for clarifying
Yes.
that. Thank you so much.
I don't want to give this impression that, oh, we are just talking about, oh, we should have
that
someone.
if
we
you are
should have.
together, you're happy.
Yeah. Nothing to do
Being
with
together
that.
and happiness, they don't go
Happiness
along.
is
It's
a
your
different
thing.
game altogether. We are only talking about the confusion and non-clarity of being stuck up with "I'm enough." We are just dissecting these phrases
So
and
basically,
words.
it's just your mental state about clarity,
Yeah,
whether
yeah,
you
yeah.
want a relationship or you
Nothing to
don't.
do with happiness.
Okay.
Yeah. Happiness
Now let's
is
touch on
definitely-
happiness then.
Yeah.
Self-love and happiness. How do you see them? Like some people, for them, self-love is just going to the salon or, pampering themselves, going out on a vacation, solo trip, going out with friends, whatever. A lot of materialistic things. Or it's all about themselves, buying branded bags for themselves. Now, how would they say you need to have self-love? How would you connect self-love with happiness? How would you get true happiness practicing
So first,
self-love?
first we need to really dissect what self-love is. First, in order to dissect that, we need to understand these two separate words: what is self and what is love. Self doesn't mean you, because we are nothing. This is the biggest fact, right? And when we will die, we will know that maybe that we are actually nothing, right? We are created by the supreme force. We all have that light, God's light, universal light, however you want to name it, right? You can call it a battery in a very layman's language, so it's easy to understand. So we all come with a battery, and that battery has the power, what you call it, powerhouse.
The
which
source
is,
of the battery
the
is
source of the battery is that powerhouse
supreme
where we are
power.
getting this, right, electricity from, which is God or universe, however you want to label it, right? And we have that fragment of battery, all of us in that. So when we say self, that self is not the powerhouse is someone else, right? So when we say self-love is like actually recognizing that power within ourselves. The moment we recognize that power, and for that we really need to shed so many layers of ego and this false labels of ourselves. Oh, I am this, I am that. We really need to drop all these I's, which needs a lifetime or maybe more lifetimes. I don't know. It's a long journey to work on. And then we can recognize that, oh, and that's what we call the moment of enlightenment. We all have it in small pieces. Sometimes we go to pilgrimage. Sometimes when we sit alone crying, we are in the downtime and all. We have those moments when we feel that, oh, this is the biggest force
So
out
are
there.
you trying
right?
to say that self-love is also very subjective from person to person?
It is.
What I do for myself and what makes me happy,
Yeah.
practicing self-love, and what you would do or somebody else would do, it depends. Like if I tell you to do something, oh, do this and you're going to be happy, or this is self-love, probably it might not give you
That
happiness.
is a
Do you think it's
self-priority or self-comfort. This is what I'm saying, that love is a very strong word and self is a very strong word. Self means that is what's keeping us alive. That's a God's battery. You take it out, I'm nothing, I'm dead immediately. So that's not me. I'm just this flesh and bones.
Absolutely.
I'm nothing,
Absolutely.
right? So that is self. When you recognize that, and when you recognize that love, and the love you feel genuinely, that is what I feel truly self-love, is that you recognize that, oh, this is my power. And then whatever you do, it will make you happy. I'm talking to you, I'm fully present. It makes me so joyful that, wow, what
So it's
Lavina,
not
I'm
about
really
the things.
listening to you. When I'm eating, I'm like, wow. So you are like, like a childlike wonder. That you're just like, you're looking and you're like, wow, what is this? This trees, this light, that is what truly self-love is, because I'm fully in the present moment and really enjoying everything what I'm experiencing. What we are talking about currently is self-priority. Not self-priority, okay? It's something like a false self-love. False self-love is what I believe. I love spas, I love massages because that's what makes me feel, I don't know,
It
relaxed
relaxes me,
or
yeah.
whatever. So I want to have that feeling, and I'm calling it self-love. But it's like, I feel there are women who are so deprived of being relaxed, and we are coming from the generation of the mothers who have been on the go, like they never got time to
Non-stop, yeah.
relax, non-stop. So it's the ancestral DNA in us that we really need that comfort of relax, just, so whenever we get that, either by buying a branded bag or in a massage or in that moment of love with the boyfriend, with the husband, whoever, we just feel, this is self-love, I love that. But really, it's that tiny bit of thing which we are experiencing. That's not what actually love is.
You've
Yeah.
said it so beautifully, and it's so
Yeah.
amazing that I now realize that we're just chasing feelings.
Yeah.
We're just chasing those momentary feelings that we get by doing something. Oh, I'm not feeling well, let me have a cup of coffee. I'm not feeling well, let me go to the salon. I'm not feeling well, just let me go buy something randomly social or be on social media or whatever. But what you're saying is that if you genuinely have self-love, you will enjoy every moment of your life. And the
Yes.
best part is just living in the moment. Because what happened was some time back, I had this realization that every time I'm doing something, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do after 2 hours. So if I'm
Yes.
here, I'm thinking, oh, I need to go home. I need to wash my clothes. I need to do
Yes.
because when you do everything by yourself, there's so many things, and I always felt I'm not enough. I always feel like I'm in a race, but I'm not reaching anywhere. I'm just there. And my work is never ending. So I realized that living in the moment is so important because now,
And
if I'm
that's why
talking
you
to you,
feel
I'm talking
drained.
to you.
Yeah.
This is not going to change. I basically plan my day,
Yeah.
but I can't be at two places physically and emotionally.
Yeah.
So I plan my time with you. We go on, go there, enjoy that moment. And like you said, so it's so beautifully said that living in the moment really helps in self love. My last topic for the day, feminism. Now, people say different things about being a feminist. It's become such a negative term. I want you to elaborate when people say, oh, she's a feminist. Oh, she only thinks about herself. And then they associate, and the person replying, I just love myself. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how would you connect the two of them? The
First-
misinterpretations relating to
Yeah,
them.
like again, the wordings and stuff. I feel any person who is a human, they should call themselves feminist, because again, what is feminism? Feminism is if you believe that there are just two genders, male and female, and they both have the right to live how they want to live, full choice, which that right and that choice has given to them by birth, by God. No one has the right to take that right away. If you believe in that philosophy, no matter how much you deny male or female, you are feminist. It's as simple as that. Now, of course, because we are privileged, the male power is there, the dominance is there. Some women, they are the product of that, what you call it. They don't like to be called feminist or what. But I'm pretty sure deep inside they would believe in this philosophy that I have the right to live how I want. Now, that can be, again, there's a confusion here is between misandry and feminism. I think this is where the confusion started. The word and everything has had no problem. There were women who became misandrist. Misandrist is men hater, right? Now, I'm not going into that debate why they become men hater, right? They were not born men hater. I'm giving them benefit of the doubt. There must be something happened to them.
Something happened to them. It's a personal experience. Not
By
everybody's
men,
born with that.
constantly by men, maybe because of their fathers, their brother, their male friends. They see them as villains. They have been repeatedly abused and whatnot. Now, how can you ask that woman to trust this whole community? They can't. It will take long time. So even from those people who are anti-feminist and all, you also need to consider, like you need to develop that trust for them so they can start trusting this men community again, right? So when they are with you, they should feel comfortable. Now, coming to this, what feminism is, it's like, it's not misandry. It's not, I'm not hating men. I don't hate men. I am just trying to say that as much you have the right to live how you want, women also have the right to how they want to live. But now the thing is, the confusion come in that where women lost the track. We become, instead of chasing feminism, we started chasing that, oh, we want to do everything what a man can do. I don't want to be like a man. I want to be like a woman, how I'm supposed to be. And no, I don't want to copy you. Oh, you are doing this job. I can do that job. I can easily get that job, right? I have that qualifications. I can be engineer. I can be whatever.
Do you think the problem
But-
comes through when it becomes like a race?
It's a race. This is where the problem is. It is a race. I still remember I used to argue with my father that, oh, if my brother smokes, why can't I smoke?
Yeah.
Now, like somehow nobody is convincing me that smoking is bad. It's not about race. Like, oh, if he is a male, that's why you're allowing him to do it. If he can come back home late at night,
yeah,
why can't I?
I think that's something that we all face.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So nobody is trying to say that it is equally bad for both the genders. It's not a gender thing. And I don't want to be a smoker. I shouldn't be, I don't know, like there's so many things. So we don't realize when we start becoming, we want to become like a man. And that's why we are losing that femininity. I don't want to be like you. I just want to live how I want. And another thing, what I see on social media a lot, bashing women who choose to be homemakers. I'm sorry, and feminists are bashing them. This is what I have a serious objection. You stand for what women want. Yes, if I'm being forced to be at home and I really want to work, that's anti-feminist.
But choice is a choice.
Choice
it
is
could
there.
be anything.
Someone want to be a mother, raise children, want to be a homemaker, want to cook food. She feels joy in that. That's what true feminism is. Allow her to be whatever she wants to be, right?
Yeah.
Nobody should tell. So I think this is where the
confusion
is coming. Yeah, exactly.
Do you think it's also conditioning, and conditioning that affects everyone? Like we say that our parents told us A, B, C, D, but we forget that their parents told them that.
Exactly.
And our ancestors told them something.
Yes,
So it's a
yes.
conditioning that they taught you as much as they knew. It's not like they didn't
Yeah,
want to.
yeah.
We will teach our children whatever we know. Are we perfect? Are they perfect?
Definitely not,
None of them are
yes.
perfect, right?
Yeah.
We always say, except for the supreme power, nobody is perfect because he or she created us, whoever we believe in that
Yeah,
power.
yeah.
Now, conditioning that comes out. The fact is, one is conditioning and one is a fact. The fact is we are brought up in a patriarchal society, right?
yes.
So, like you said, sometimes people need to tell us that it's not a race. It's not because he's a man. It's just because they don't tell us the real reason. They just say, it's okay, it's okay. They don't tell us, they don't give us this clarity that why can't I do something?
Yeah.
I think if the clarity was given to them, if the clarity was given
Definitely.
by them to us, we would realize that, oh, okay, it's not
Definitely.
about a man or a female. It's about the thing itself
the
is
choice.
wrong.
And I feel most men get offended too. And I really need to address men over there because I know so many wonderful men. I know who stands for and who would never do any harm to a woman, but somehow they get confused over this whole patriarchy thing, and like oh no, women are getting all what they want and da 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 da. It's as simple as that. If a man is coming and telling you, I don't know how to, I don't know, like for example, how to behave in pregnancy, will you even listen? You're like, excuse me, you can't tell me how I feel or whatever. But if a woman is coming and telling you, listen, do this, da, 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 there is more weight. Why? Because women has experienced it and go through it, right? Similarly, why men, I feel, in our society have more power when it comes to ending the patriarchy and or like, highlighting those issues, because men will listen to men. Men will never listen to women. It's as simple as that. I remember there was one of the gathering and there was a man who started addressing men and telling them that, do you know, and he was giving some religious sermon and example, that do you know, prophets and all of those people, how much they help women when it comes to their household chores. And all the men were quiet.
They're like,
Now,
what?
so many women have already talked about it. But men are like, okay, they just want us to help them, that's it. So there was no weight out there. But when a man is addressing to men and saying we should do it, because this is the ethical thing to do, and this is what prophets did, and men, they really took that advice. So this is why responsibility on men is way more, and that's why more than women, men need to talk about it, because the weight is there, because the power is in your hands. Right now, who is running the show? It is men largely. I'm not saying who's running the show in your home, but largely who is running the world. It's a bunch of men out there. So when you will start speaking about it, people will listen and things will finally change.
And shining by example, like if you start practicing it, if you see men
That's
practicing
simple.
it,
Yeah.
people will observe
Yeah,
it. It's
yeah.
not only about talking. It's not only about, not practicing what you preach. It's also
Exactly.
about when we have men around in our society where we see that they treat their girlfriends or wives in the same way, where it's not a race. We are here to coexist. There are
Yeah.
certain things you are good at. There are certain things I am good at. And then you let the power shift. If I'm good at something, let me do it. If you're good at something, I'll let you do it.
Exactly.
And that's how you
It's as
coexist.
simple as that.
It's so
Yeah,
simple.
yeah,
And
yeah.
simplicity. And then, then we hear these quotes, life is simple. Simplicity is all about...
But you are
whatever.
making it complicated.
But everybody's
Yeah.
making it complicated.
Yeah.
We all do.
Yeah.
And, having said that you and me are having this podcast doesn't mean that you and me know everything.
Yeah.
We're just having a healthy conversation where we're discussing topics and we're just trying to understand that
Yeah,
where
yeah.
we lack, because
Yeah.
from time to time you have to sit with yourself, allocate your priorities, and then
Yes.
move on.
Yeah.
Because our clarity will change, our days will change, our phases will change. Today I like A, but after 5 years I'm a different person. Self-growth is real. So
Yeah.
it's a very, very healthy conversation.
Yeah.
One other thing that I felt was, when you want to run away from situations, you use self-love as a pretext.
Yes, escapism
Okay.
is real. Yeah.
You don't want to be accountable. You'll just come up with reasons and you'll be like, no. And then you keep giving your reasons, and you somehow feel that the person is running away from something in the pretext of self-love. What do you
Yes,
think about it?
Yes,
Does
it's
that happen?
very much there. It's very much there. You want to see, you don't want to face, okay, actually who you are running from. You are not running from someone else. You are running from your own self. Because there are certain labels. Everybody knows their true self. It's just that we want to run away, we want to shush them up. Every single person know. I exactly know what I lack. I exactly know what my problems are. But I don't want to talk about it because that is very uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable talking about, oh, Zainab is very lazy. Oh, she's very this. I don't want to talk about it because I only want to know good things about what Zainab is, right? That's what keep my ego thriving. Majority of us, to be honest, right? And even if you're self-aware or whatever. So escapism is very, very simple way of running from people who shows you the reality check. It is running from situations who give you reality check. And that's why most of the people, they don't get along with their families, with the couples, each other, with husband and wife, or with their very close friends have a breakup. Why? Because somehow situations have been created where one person is showing you the mirror. This is who you truly are. This is so uncomfortable that they were like, you know what, this person is toxic. Cross. I don't want to live with you anymore. Whether it's parents, whether it's children or husband and wife. But somehow we have the soul contract before. I had the soul contract that, Lavina, I will come into your life and I will give you some of the harshest lessons. And you will be like, yeah, but how harsh? And I'm like, yeah, maybe I have to slap you. I have to do this in the world. And you're like, okay, so it's fine. It's coming from you. I'll take it. So you made the contract with me. Now I come into this life as your mother or as whatever. And I did give you that harshest lessons in the most ugliest way. But you somehow, it's so uncomfortable. But if you just step back and look from this perspective, okay, this person, I must have a soul contract and she's showing me some sort of mirror, which is very uncomfortable. But am I growing through that? My soul growth is happening? If the answer is yes, that person is very important in your life. But escapism, most of us are doing it because very uncomfortable to see who we truly are.
Once we were having a conversation and you
Yeah.
told me these words that the only people who can trigger you the most are the people close to you. Your trigger
100%,
points, that could be your boyfriend, your husband, your parents, your siblings,
Yeah.
somebody that you're really close to, even a friend.
The closer they
So
are, the bigger the trigger.
Absolutely. I
Yes.
just want you to quickly touch on this topic because it's really, really important. And
Yeah.
I know that once you speak about it, it's going to resonate with a lot of people. Please.
Yeah, because I feel the closest the relationship, the bigger the trigger.
And why do you think so?
And that's why this is what we always say, that people who are closest to you hurt the most. People who are hurt is what? Hurt is trigger. I think triggers are the most beautiful thing if you really want to grow in life. Like soul growth I'm talking about, right? Triggers are the worst thing if you don't want to grow. I mean, you will find people who are always praising you and boosting your ego. Oh, you're so pretty, you're this. But only that person who is closest to you, either your husband, your wife, maybe your child, parents, siblings. This is the closest inner circle, right? Or maybe in some cases, very closest best friend as well. They would come and they would put you in a situation which is very uncomfortable.
Or they would say something that...
Or they would say something
that
which
was
is
like-
extremely hurtful,
Yeah.
very, very mean.
Because they know you for so many years, so they know exactly
Yeah,
what...
but what actually they are doing, they are, lifting the veil of that false expectation or false label you have of yourself. I feel, oh, I'm a very positive person. I always think so positive. Da, 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 da. And you come and me and you have a fight, and you will say, now we had a soul contract up there. You are supposed to say this to me because there is no way I can grow after listening to that, right? That you will say that, oh, Zainab, you are the most negative person I've ever seen. And you keep saying it. And I'm like, oh my God, how can Lavina say that to me? What did I ever do to her? Did she say I'm negative? And I am in denial. I'm unable to believe. Maybe it's true. I'm not a negative person. I'm a positive person. But I need to hear that because the label of this, my ego gets so high that, oh, Zainab is so positive and she's so pretty. But you are keep on coming and say, oh, you're ugly, because God wants me to actually, understand that, your beauty is all very false label of you, or your positivity and all, because you take a huge pride in it. So the whole point, I'm coming to this conclusion here, is the whole point of us living on this earth is to drop these false labels and recognize what is
You
the real
actually
self
are.
is. Coming back to the self, that real self is, we are nothing. It's God's light within us. That's it. And that's why every time we get hurt, we get triggered, it's so painful, it's so uncomfortable. It's because we are losing our own false identity.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
only that grows you, right? Because if
Yeah,
somebody said,
yeah.
let's stick to your example just for easy sake.
Yeah.
Let's say I say that you are not a positive person, you just pretend to be a positive person.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
example, like the
yeah.
same example that you just quoted. And if you really sit by yourself and you tell yourself that I always get upset with this, am I really not positive? And if you are, and if you really discover that, okay, what I'm saying and what I'm doing is completely the opposite, and you work on yourself, in a way, it's your self-growth.
Yeah.
Had that person not told you, how would you realize?
No, even if
Isn't
that
that triggers
person
are
is
supposed to
saying
be-
a lie, even if yes, you are not ugly, you are not a negative person.
In a different scenario.
But it's
yeah.
like dropping those label, that skin. That's what I think I am. Okay, and so what? And why does it matter if Lavina thinks I'm a negative person?
Absolutely. So if you are...
Why it matters to me so much?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Both
because
ways
I
is
like
correct.
to be labeled as this nice presentation. Oh, she's so well dressed, she's so beautiful, she's so positive, she's so organized. And one person will come like, you're so clumsy. Oh, you are this, you are that. And I don't like the sound of it because that is what my ego is shedding.
I don't want that accountability on myself.
That's why when you said escapism, most people want to be surrounded by the people who always boost their
praise them.
ego. They don't like people who give them this discomfort of who they are or shedding their
And
ego.
the higher we go in that line,
Yeah.
like the more higher we go in that grid,
Yeah.
we get fewer people telling us what's wrong. Like
That's
you see
why,
celebrities.
That's why
you see,
they say that the more upgraded you become, like the more high you go in career or wherever, the more lonely you are. You don't have any true friend. Why? Because
they're very scared to tell you.
yeah, you are whatever, you are a politician, you are a biggest celebrity or whoever, wherever you are. The more you go up, your people is like, oh, you're this, you're that. And you're like, yes, I am. And you
Yeah.
keep going up and up. And there, when the ego drops, it hurts.
It's the most.
Biggest, yeah.
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 And like you said, that pain and triggers.
Yeah.
They always say pain is your biggest teacher. If your life is all hunky dory all the time, if you're always happy, there are no issues in your life, how are you going to learn? Just want to say this very honestly, and I know that pain is the only teacher and pain is the only way that you can grow yourself. But pain is very painful.
It is.
It is so painful. I don't want to go through it. And I know that the only way to grow is pain. It is so, I know it's a paradox that I'm saying, but when I'm going through that pain, I'm like, why?
It is
And then when I come
horrifying,
out of that situation, I look back and I'm like, everything was for my good. It could be anything. It could be a relationship. It could be a career. It could be a job that I didn't get or anything. When we look back, so are you saying that pain is the only way we can self-grow? Is there something else?
No, pain is the only way. Because you see...
See, now that's a harsh reality that you're telling
It's a
me
harsh
on my
reality.
face, and it's so difficult to accept
Because
it.
you see, okay, you want to get your body very toned. Will you get it while sitting on the sofa? You need to get up, physically go and do something.
Absolutely.
So physical movement is required. Pain or any emotion is what? It's inside us. It also needs to flow. Just like a physical body needs to move, pain needs to move, right? How will that pain move? It's stuck somewhere in my subconscious, right? It's not only my pain. It's my ancestral pain. It's my mother's pain. It's my father's pain. It's there in my cells, right? Pain is everywhere, right? And it's some of the pain I have.
It could
I'm
be
also
physical, it
carrying.
could be emotional, it could be in any way.
Pains are there. Like I got it from in my DNA, right? It's there embedded in my cells, right? Pain needs to move. So when someone is gonna give me hurt or harm me somehow, emotional, mental harm, or even if a physical pain is there, the pain is moving. The tears mean that pain is moving and coming out in the form of...
That's why we feel lighter when we cry.
Yeah, and how your soul gets lighter. And your soul does get lighter after crying, right?
Yeah, it does.
So how the soul is going to get lighter? The only way to get back to that God, going back to that powerhouse, is when we are supremely light, because that light is very light. There's no dense energy. We are dense because we are in 3D world on this planet, right? If we want to go back lighter, we need to shed all this weight that we are carrying. And we are carrying so much weight. Other than physical things, which we have, too many clothes, too many shoes, too many... That's a physical weight we are carrying. That also adds on. But on that, the emotional weight, not only pain of myself, which I'm carrying, pain of Lavina, pain of this, pain and pain of what's happening in the world. It's too much pain. We all absorb, even if we pretend, oh, we don't care, we don't. But it's there, it's happening. You know, in the back room, someone is murdering someone. I can say, oh, I don't care, it's not of my business, but it's happening.
It affects.
As a human, it affects. You cannot just keep saying, oh, it doesn't affect me. Maybe I don't know the person, it doesn't affect me directly. But it's uncomfortable.
Passively, it does.
Passively, it is affecting all of us.
This is so enlightening because... You see, that's when we say, when you have, when you're consuming what you're consuming physically as food, and what you're consuming on the media, maybe the newspaper, maybe on the phone, maybe on social media channels, we feel like, I just listened to this and I went back to sleep.
Yeah.
But then it's affecting you subconsciously.
Yes.
Everything is affecting you. And like you said, when the pain is embedded somewhere in our subconscious, or physical pain or emotional, mental, psychological pain, we don't even realize. And it could be coming in our DNA. It could be a new pain, it could be an old pain, but whatever you said makes so much of
sense. So we have to shed all of these pains, and our generation, and in fact the future generations that are coming, have more responsibility, because this is the most self-aware generations. Unfortunately, our parents, grandparents were too busy in survival mode. They did not even realize, they were just doing what they've been told to do, right? This era where we are living in, the social media, information age, we know so much. We know exactly, oh, this pain has some emotional link to this and that. We have way more responsibility to shed those pains.
In fact, we have so much awareness that we need to pick and choose.
You need to pick and
Before
choose.
we had
Which
to
pain
look
to
for
work?
it.
Which paint to work on now?
Before we had to look for stuff. Now everything is there, out there in the platter,
It's
like a market,
exhausting.
and we need to
I
pick
do
it.
understand it's draining. It's exhausting. Someone told me yesterday, oh yeah, you are a mother, you're a nurturer, you're a lover, you're a mother. I'm like, yeah, I know. And I take a pride that, I love to mother people. I love this, to give love to people. But sometimes it's draining. It's not easy. It's a big responsibility. Sometimes you want someone to mother you.
Absolutely.
And I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want to be mother of everyone.
Why? Because at any age, even
It's
if you're
draining.
50 or 60 or
Yeah.
even if you're whatever you are, when you go to your mother, you're still a child.
Yeah.
For her, you're always going to be a
Yeah,
child, right? So
yes.
you also need that pampering.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, speaking about all that pain, one of the biggest things that people don't realize to get rid of the pain is forgiveness,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you want to feel lighter, you want to feel okay, but you don't want to forgive people. You don't want to forgive people. There are so many movies made on forgiving parents, forgiving yourself, forgiving your friends, forgiving people around you for those little things that you go through the day.
But Lavina, I
You
know,
need to choose your battles,
I know
right?
forgiveness does not come easy for many people.
Oh, it's very difficult.
It's not
It's
easy.
another painful journey, I feel.
Yeah, but the only way which I have figured out, and there are people who have hurt so much. I mean, how can you ask someone to forgive? Like, how can you ask anyone to forgive someone? Someone enters the room and murder my child. Oh, forgive the person. Not easy.
It's tough. It's
So
very
I do
tough. Depends from
understand. I
situation
do
to
understand.
situation.
But the only way to actually, what I feel, if I've cracked the code, is to understand that we had a social contract. That person was planted to do this thing, so I can grow. This is happening for me, for my for my soul growth, not to me. That's the only way I have understood to really forgive, let go, and pass on. Otherwise, you are burning in your own anger. There's no other way to look at it.
Because
People will keep coming. They will keep coming, attacking you, hurting you. Like literally, there are people out there with the knives. Everybody is attacking you. You really have to protect, and the only way to protect is the perspective. That okay, fine, keep on hitting me. I am here to shed my pain.
Yeah.
Keep on coming. It's not easy. I know it's easier said than done. We are talking all these big things. Implementation it's very, very tough.
Implementation is very difficult, but the only solution is to do it slowly every day.
Yeah.
In small bits and pieces. Because eventually what we don't realize is that if we don't forget, who's suffering? Ourselves. The loser is ourselves. The other person doesn't care. We always feel everyone's looking at us. Nobody is looking at you. Nobody has the time to think about you. It's you yourself and your consciousness.
And this is
all about your own mental
we started
story.
with self-love. Actually, you are concluding in self-love.
Yeah.
So if you're doing everything that is causing you harm and anger or whatever, grudges.
You're not loving yourself.
This is not self-love. Is not about going to spas and this. This is what self-love is.
Absolutely.
What is good for me? How can I grow myself? This is exactly what it is. Yeah.
Okay, before we end this podcast, is there anything else you would like to tell our audience? Anything
in terms of what, like overall health, you mean to say? This
no,
is what I ask
for self-love,
usually,
I just want to keep life simple. That's what you said. It is simple to love yourself. And what would you say? Like, this is self-love. These would be your definition of self-love. If you have to say.
My definition is that, first of all, try to please make your own clarity in your mind that what is self-love for you and self-priority and they are very different things. If you really want to love yourself, start activating that God's light within you, because that's what self is, not your false label of yourself, what self is. This will give you happiness. Of course, I will not say not happiness, pleasures, right? That, I went to spa, I bought a bag. But immediately you go up and you will come down. So where
very
is love?
temporary.
And when I say love yourself unconditionally, that means no matter what you do, we make mistakes, we do so many things. Forgive yourself and go ahead. Okay, fine, I made a mistake. Now what? Go ahead. Don't put yourself in guilt and all of those things. That's very, very important, I guess. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was such a beautiful conversation, and it was such a pleasure to be on this side of the couch for a change.
Thank you for suggesting this to me, because, I mean, we were just sitting and talking, and she was like, how about I ask you questions, because you always ask it to everyone.
Yeah, but it was very nice of you to let me sit here. It's your podcast, but you allowed me to sit here.
No,
so
but
thank you
I
so
loved
much.
it.
I had a great time.
It is like how we always talk.
Always.
It's more of that. So thank you.
And more love and light to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Thank you.